Hi, everybody. Hello, welcome. Another wonderful day today. How is everybody's day today? We are speaking about food and the whole healthy mindset towards food. We're just going to wait for people to come on, and we are going to wait for Racheli to come on. And let's see if we can do it that way. Accept. Oh, I can't see how this is going to work. Invite.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Now I'm on with
Wow.
you.
Terrific. You're
I'm
here.
so
Thank you
happy to
so
see
much.
you. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much. How are you? Welcome, everybody. We are
Good,
here
Baruch
live with
Hashem.
Racheli. Yes, so good to see you.
I'm happy to
I'm,
see you. I like
yeah,
the
no,
face on you.
yeah, thank you. You're always so pleasant to be around, really. Like I could see people
Thank you. I don't hear
atmosphere.
you. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
yeah. Um, yeah, so welcome, Racheli. So first of all, let's introduce you. How do we know each other, Racheli? Let's first of all.
Oh, many years. We're family friends. I kind of got to know you, I think, almost together with my in-laws,
Right, that's basically what
right?
happened. Yeah,
Yes. But you
fantastic.
know what? It's been so long, and I feel like people grow so much over the years. So it's so nice sometimes to look back and say, you know what? Wow, so much
Right.
happened in a good
Yes.
way.
In a good way, exactly, exactly. So tell us how you got here because you're a healthy mindset coach, and we'll talk
hmm
about that in a minute, how it relates to food. What's your background? Like, where did you grow up and how did you get into
Okay.
it?
So I got into it almost by mistake, I would say. I grew up in,
She froze.
and in my background, I went. Am I back?
Yes, you're here. I hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So I grew up in Israel. I went to college. I did BA in nutrition and sport education, almost as a hobby, and together with that, I did another one, B science in engineering, which I thought that this is what I'm going to be doing. Life brought me to a different place. So what happened was I had a BA in nutrition sport education, and at the same time, and that was, I would say, after I had my oldest, I was struggling myself with eating disorder. Now I kept asking myself, what's wrong with me? I know everything. I have a BA in it, and I'm
Wow.
still not doing what I know. So I ended up going for coaching. I decided, let me learn how to become a coach so I can help myself. Just because at the time going for help wasn't so, today we're so okay
Right. I'll
with it,
tell
which
you
is a
something
great
cute. A
thing.
lot of a lot of
hmm
people in my coaching class
hmm
to learn how to be a coach, they basically went for themselves also.
Yes.
It was an interesting phenomenon. Yeah.
So I never thought I'm going to be doing it, with someone else. I'm like, you know what? Let me just become a coach, and then I'll figure out what's wrong with me. So with being a coach, and then I worked with a mentor coach. It wasn't, just from. And I realized that this is the missing piece. And then I was able to really recover and heal from my own eating disorder with the coaching. When I figured that out, I'm like, okay, I really think I got into something. And then, from one thing to the other, someone asked me if I could, and I found myself doing that and, becoming a mindset health coach. Because really, I felt like this is my calling. If I know what's the missing piece, why won't I show other people how to do the same?
Right, right. So it's very interesting you say that because when you meet people, a lot of times the challenge that they had brings them to helping other people. So they'll either open up an
True.
organization or they're going to go into that line of work. So it's really, really interesting. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. So tell us a little what you do. Like, what does your daily day look like? And then we'll start going into infant through aging. I want to talk about
Through
everything. Yeah.
Okay, my day today as far as work as far as family, because I also have 5 kids, so it's my day has like shift A, shift B, shift
Right.
C.
No, so right, right. So tonight we're talking about this whole eating and mindset. So talk
Okay,
to me how your day would,
so
yeah.
so in general, I also happen to be, I do love sometimes to share with people that I have family and I have kids, because often there is this concept that you can eat healthy and be mindful only when your life is like sterilized, when you have no stressors, and when it's like someone told me, like, it's never the right time. It's true, it's never the right time, so we have to do it with everything going on. So
Right.
um
And
now I'm a
also
big
we have, no, I also we always have a yontif. We always have a wedding. We
Absolutely.
always have
There
a
is
bar
always a
mitzvah.
Shabbos.
And we have Shabbos once a week. I play tennis. I play tennis and with all kinds of people once a week. And when it comes Thanksgiving and Christmas, they do not come to tennis. They miss it because they're busy cooking for this one Thanksgiving dinner that they're having.
Right.
You know what I'm
And we're
saying?
doing it every
And we're
Friday.
doing every week. Well, yeah. And every week, Friday, it's like a challenge for me. Like, do I sit down to a
So
meal Friday? Yeah.
that's why I don't like approach of finding a time. Like sometimes, let me find a time. Sometimes it's like between Hanukkah and Purim. Sometimes it's like now between Pesach and Shavuos. Let me now find a time and eat healthy or diet in this period. And the idea is if I'm sterilizing a certain amount of time,
She froze again.
much depend. I would say it's depend on the season. And I'm saying season, it's not the season in the calendar. It's more of the season in life. So right now, so if you would have asked me that question, let's say 2 years ago, I would tell you I wake up 5:30 in the morning and I go to the gym early morning at 5:30. Right now, I have a 10 months old that still wakes up at night. So waking up right now at 5:30 in the morning to go to the gym is just not the right thing for me at the moment.
hmm
When
Okay,
he when
so
he's gonna.
right,
Mhm.
which really this is what I want to go into. Let's talk about food from when we're born all the way further.
Okay.
What can we do just to help people and encourage people and to live a healthier lifestyle, right?
Okay,
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah, so let's
Okay,
start with infants because you happen to have an infant now. Is there
almost, yeah.
something, yeah, is there something that we could do when they are infants and we're feeding them
So in
as
general,
parents? Yeah.
whenever we're talking about children, I feel like the most important thing is creating the right mindset for them. And we create the right mindset. The first thing is the way that we behave. So if I'm eating, now we're talking about infants. So, if it's breastfeeding or it's formula, it's very much depend. Again, I don't believe in one way or another. I think that every situation is different, and everybody's going to do what's right for her and for her family. But when we start introducing them to salads, this is when the time, wait with the sweets. So you can see sometimes people rushing to add something to the water. There is no reason to add any sweets to a baby water. If you give a baby water, just give plain water. I'm a big
That's very
believer. Mhm.
interesting. Where is that from? Because I remember when I had the newborns, the nurses would tell me in the hospital should give them sugar water. What was the concept behind that?
I have no idea. The truth
I
is, I
just
have no
looked,
idea.
but this is years ago. It could be a changed. I don't
But
know.
even today the doctors are not recommending it. So I'm saying in my times I don't remember doctors telling it to me, but I can see people in the street and they're giving a 2-year-old or even a 1-year-old, they would give them a bottle with like water diluted with apple juice. What for? What for? You give water, the baby, when they're used to the water, they love the water. I have my kids in all ages, and when they got used to water, you will give them apple juice, they will ask you for water. Just because
Right.
it's a matter of habit. There is a lot of environmental things. That's the second we. So the same thing goes with introducing fruits and vegetables. The more there is so much about it, even that especially with babies, you want to keep introducing them the same fruits over and over, even if they didn't like it the first week, they're gonna like it again. But I think that all the things are already like technical. I think the most important part is that when you're eating something healthy, enjoy it. Really describe it to when your kids are getting a little bit older, and you're like, oh, this meal was so delicious. It was good. Instead of us treating, and this is what happened when they get a little bit older, that you can see parents treating with a candy, with a lolly, with any kind of a snack. I had one of my clients ask me, she's like, how can I be a Jewish mama without kukish cake? And I said, this is a belief system. You can be an amazing Jewish mama without kukish cake. Have really nice fruits cut up in your fridge. What's wrong with
Right,
that?
especially when they come home from school. Which
Yeah.
brings me to the next point of school age children. I know we can't change the school system, but
Hmm.
why is there so much nosh served in school? Why is arts and crafts? Sometimes the kids come home with arts and crafts and it's made out of food. What happened
So
to popsicle sticks and to glue and to
I agree
glitter,
with
you know?
that. I agree with that. I also hate the rewards with food because I feel
Right.
that the rewards with food, this is even something that really creates the wrong mindset. But my approach in general, the things that I cannot change, I'm not going to focus on. So school can be school. I can educate my kids at home that, what, it's so much better, and make it exciting. I have my 7-year-old. She's in second grade now, and I send her to school every day with a box. I put it a few times in my story. Like I prepare for them a box with fruits in all different colors, And her teacher was always tells me on PTA, she's like, you should know the girls, each of the girls, they want a food box like Rosie.
Yeah, they want that.
They
That's
want the
so
food
cute.
because, if you make it exciting, put it in a nice box. If you need some kids will need you to cut it into shape. Some kids just make it if it's fresh, and they know that also. Oh, this is so delicious. When you're eating, let's say, a good food, and we're talking about here, like even a good fruit, you'll describe, okay, this apple is so crunchy, you must taste it. They'll be excited too.
Right, right.
So it's very much on the mindset that we're creating. Now, another part that we want to think about is what happens when your kids are asking for dessert. Let's say, for example, the Nash for Shabbos, the Shabbos party, the
Shabbos
it's finished with
cereal. I've heard about the concept
the
of Shabbos
Shabbos
cereal.
cereal. Why are we introducing something that is not really good for us throughout and introducing it for Shabbos? You want to eat it? And I'm not going to tell you that I don't have it in my house. I have it in my house. But I just don't make a big deal out of it. It's like, okay,
Hmm.
it's just
Hmm.
there. It's not special. If I want something special, let's go me and you for half an hour for a walk, and then we're gonna have a really special time together. That's something special.
Right.
We want to have a
You
Shabbos
know,
party. We can do games. We can do stories. We can do songs. We can do dance. There's so many other things that we can have fun with, but it's not food.
right. I just have a funny thought that just came to me because I
Hmm.
just took the kids to this new place called Smash House Burger that they're all advertising in Lakewood
Okay.
now. And why is it always the kids' meal is always chicken nugget and fries? It's cute, but
Unfortunate.
that's what the kids' meal is. You go to
So,
any
so, so,
restaurant.
so this is a belief system. This is exactly what happened. You know what? I went with my kids. I don't remember exactly when, but we went to American Dream Mall, and right before the amusement park, there is a store I think called It's Sugar, something like that. Could be done wrong
Yes,
with the name.
yes, something
And
with
and
sugar. Yeah.
and when you something like that, and there a sign that you cannot ignore because it's huge. A woman holding a salad with a frowny face.
Oh,
The
yeah, yeah.
same woman is holding a bowl of some kind of a candy, and she's laughing. Now,
Uh,
what's the message?
yeah. The message is,
This is
yeah.
this is exactly where it's starting. It's starting in finish your meal, you're gonna get dessert, meaning that the dessert is the price and the meal is the punishment. So if
Right.
my kids want something sweet, I'll give it to them together with their meal. And you'll be
Really?
surprised. Yes.
That's such an interesting change of shift of, wow. Okay.
Because I just don't make big deal from I don't believe in good food and bad food, and I don't make a big deal of chocolate or of you want it? Okay, it's here.
Hmm. So I like that. Not to make a big deal. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was telling you about this book. I know
Hmm.
you didn't have a chance to read it.
No,
Smart
not yet.
Cookie. Yeah, but
I kind of tried to the disappointed me, but I did not read the book yet completely.
unbelievable. I give people such credit. So it's basically from a nutritionist, maybe three of them,
Hmm.
three
Hmm.
nutritionists from women that got together and decided to make like I would say it's anywhere from
A guide.
a sixth grade and up, sixth grade and high school guide. I enjoyed the book so much because I wish I would have had it when I was younger, at least given it to my kids, you know.
Hmm.
It just goes through a day and what all these healthy foods do to your body, like what your body needs to function as far as vitamins and which foods
And
have it.
this is such a good part because I think that we need the part of education of really understanding why why we're avoiding sugar, what happened when and if there is such a book that really explains it in a language, meaning I work with adults, so I usually would recommend books that would really explain what happened in the body, meaning the results of eating unhealthy food. And there is a lot of books. I'm so happy that there is such a book now for kids, especially for teens. um, the education part is always important, even though I know that there is some school that really talk about it.
They're trying to introduce, there are a few new programs, and it says it here in back of the book, that
Hmm.
if you want additional information, they
What
have
did you like
here.
the most about this book? I'm curious.
What I liked most about the book was that it really broke it down to explain what a carb is, how it gives energy, why it's important, what kind of
Hmm.
carbs are good for you. It gave examples of balanced meals. Like
Hmm.
it's just unbelievable.
What I like about it, um,
Feelings,
oh, wonderful.
emotions, yeah, dealing with emotions. Yeah,
So they gave different tools of dealing with emotion that are not food.
right, right. To realize, are you hungry? When was your last meal? How
So
important snacks are? Yeah,
this is so important to remember that we eat for so many reasons that are not hunger, and really teaching the kids, are you hungry right now, or you really need something else? I think this is something that you can teach even younger kids when they ask for a snack, or when they, because sometimes kids would go and eat something just because they're bored. Not all kids, you're not going to see it by everyone, but some kids just have the tendency for it, that, oh, they're bored, they're going to go and grab a snack, and then it just becomes a habit, and it becomes a habit that, I'm not going to say that it's going to be impossible to break, but it's going to be challenging to break,
Right.
right? So we want
I
to
think
stop the habits
also,
before.
Racheli, in the age of technology, because we're so used to things fast and the kids with their thumbs on the games and everything,
Absolutely.
that when they're not busy for that 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour, I don't know if we
What
use
am
the
I doing
word,
now?
right? I don't know if we use the word bored as much like the kids do today. Because I see from my grandkids, we're so
Yeah.
bored. It's raining. What should we do now? I don't think we had that as
So
much. I
in
could be wrong.
general, I think that we have to normalize the being bored. That it's okay. Because
Right,
when we were bored as children, we figured we were bored, and then we figured out something.
right,
And here, whenever children say we're bored, it's almost like the parent, and I'm talking from a place of being a parent, that something that I even had to work on myself at one point, of like, I don't have to give them solution to them being bored.
right. Oh, I like that. Wow.
So they're
So it's
bored.
so interesting, right? It's so interesting that you have so much knowledge and you have so much to give. Um,
Thank you. I think it's all like in the coaching area. I think,
yes, I
well,
think so.
we have the
Yeah,
coaching, and then we have like each one has like her own niche. But by the end of the day, the second we start talking about the neuroscience and the CBT and the brain plasticity, we realize that there is so much more. Like it's almost covers everything. You have to know, you have to think like, one second, where else can I apply it in my life?
right. What other books would you recommend, maybe similar to this Smart Cookie
For some reason.
for us,
Hmm.
for
I did not hear the
adults?
big.
Oh, I'm saying if someone wants to read up a little bit more about healthy eating and they're an adult, what kind of books could you recommend? Anything comes to the top of your head?
What do I recommend?
Yeah.
I love the Glucose Revolution. I think that
Oh,
this is a great book.
I never read it. Okay, I'll
It
try.
really explains how what sugar does to our body, how to lower it. It also gives a lot of very good tips how to stop the cravings in a very healthy way. Let's say the order of the meal, some greens before, what to do. Let's say if you already have a spike in your blood sugar. So it's a great book. A second one called Good Energy. I don't remember the name of the author, but I can see if I can check it out, check it later on. I can, we can just write it down, the names of authors of both. The first one is by Jessie. Her last name is in French, so I don't think I'll be able to pronounce it. But I can give you both of the names so you can put them down if somebody wants to read them. Highly recommend both books, both great.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, so we spoke about infants, we spoke about children. Now let's
I
go
wanted
to
just to
adults.
add
Yeah,
one more thing
yeah.
when it comes to the nutrition part. When you were talking, um, what I do like when they introduce, especially to teens, is what yes instead of focus on what no.
I love that. So again, that's also a positive mindset, right?
And the
Right.
reason for it is that there is so many teens that I found out that they're being sent to nutritionists and dietitian, and they would right away give them, don't eat this and don't eat that and don't eat this. Now what happened is we created, and this is what happened for myself even when I started with my eating disorder, which actually started with a doctor recommendation, meaning it started in a very healthy way, that I had to avoid sugar because I had gestational diabetes in my first pregnancy. But what I'm saying is we create the pink elephant concept. When you're not thinking, if somebody tells you don't think about pink elephant, we think about it. If someone tells you don't eat a cake, all you can think about is how much you want to eat it.
Right.
So I love that
Absolutely.
they bring it in a positive way of, oh, you should be eating this and this and this because this is how you treat your body, right? And we have the part of the Nishmat, and one of my clients gave me this one, and it's something that I never really thought about. He said that Benishmat Me'od Nafshatechem is the only mitzvah we have the me'od with it.
I saw, I just read that also, that the word
So
very,
one of my clients
yeah,
gave, I'm like, you know what? I never knew it, but it's really is important.
yeah. We need to take care of ourselves. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
How important is exercise?
Oh, okay. I'm going to divide it to two different areas. So we have movement, and then we have strength training, which I would say building muscle. Okay. Movement is very important for our hormones to work properly. So there is a lot of research, and they're all coming with the same thing, that when we're not moving enough, and we're talking about moving, we're talking about walk. Even we even see a correlation between Alzheimer and lack of movement. So if someone is moving, we're talking about 25 minutes of walk a day, and not a fast walk, just a regular walk, your chances of getting Alzheimer are 25% less. You're reducing your chances of getting Alzheimer. So especially by women that
Wow.
are, so this is about movement. So we want hormones for our hormones to work for, we want movement walk for our hormones to work properly. We're talking about insulin. Insulin is very much connected to movement. People that has high blood sugar in the morning, we'll usually recommend them go for a walk at night, and you'll see that their fasted glucose is dropping the next morning. Like it's you really see the connection right away. That's regards movement. So the number that really makes a difference, we want to see at least 7,000 steps a day. This is
Wow.
really
Okay.
where, for some people will tell me no problem, it's easy. Some people will tell me I barely get to 2,000. I recommend usually to get a step tracker just to get the awareness. If you don't know if you're sitting or not, get a step tracker. You don't have to be obsessed with it. You don't have to always wear it, but it gives you the awareness, and then you know, okay, this is something that I have to pay attention to.
Wow. Okay, good.
Now, let's talk about muscle.
Yeah.
So, muscle from the age of 30, we start losing muscle. We're losing about a pound a year. Again,
Mm.
depends from person to a person, depend how much protein you're taking, and if you're not exercising. So we want to make sure. Now what the problem with losing muscle is that as we get older, we want to be older and healthy, right? We want to be just, today we're talking about aging backwards, but I'm even talking about, we want to be there for our grandchildren, our great grandchildren, be able to dance in their weddings. We want to be
Listen,
capable.
I think it was last year or 2 years ago, I played tennis with someone on my court. Her children were all doctors. She was 90 years old,
Oh
Kanayinara,
wow,
running on the tennis court.
beautiful.
And I was like, wow, like Hashem, I want to be there. I want to do that. And I think the
Yeah.
way to do that is, listen,
It's
Hashem runs
never
the
too late. It's
world.
never
Yeah.
too late to start. Whenever someone
Right.
tells me like, yes, Hashem runs the world, and we can see people that they were the healthiest people, or you can see people. Someone told me like, oh, my grandfather smokes cigarettes and he's 90 years old and he's healthy. You're right. We have to do Harish Tadlus. We do it in every
Right.
area in life. This is our part, and then Hashem's part. It's just not in our hands anymore. We have
Right.
surrendered. We have to surrender to that. But our
Right.
part is that we have to. So this is why building muscle is so important. So we want to make sure that we get enough protein so we don't lose the muscle, and we want to make sure that we're doing some kind of activity that is going to help us build muscle. So any resistant training, if it's with weights, if it's with your body weight, anything that is going to help you to maintain the muscle and even gain more muscle. So this is the two things, and it's never too late.
Right. We can always start. That's it.
It's never too late. Yes,
Everybody listening, that's it. Tomorrow morning or even tonight, you could still take a walk if it's not raining.
absolutely. And make yourself a habit chart. Like whenever we start with a new habit, make a habit chart. Make it something that is doable, because if we just start, too big, something doable every day, just a little bit consistency matters.
Okay, great. So now let's talk about what you do about this whole healthy mindset. Somebody
Okay.
walks in all their life, they've been struggling.
Hmm.
I did a live with Miriam Weiser, and she wrote a book of all the diets that she's
Yeah, I
on
love this one.
since she's 16. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh wow.
she did the cabbage diet and she went to that doctor, famous doctor, yeah, you couldn't. I mean, she did everything, the OA, the Weight Watchers, not the OA, but she did
it's
the Weight
it's
Watchers
so
and the Marsha
unfortunate.
from, yeah, yeah. So
I
let's
I
hear.
hear these stories. It really makes me sad
I
hearing
know.
these
So I
stories.
want to hear what you have to offer and what is your specialty and
Okay,
how we can just retrain our brain that not to be so obsessed with food, and food should not be a struggle every single day.
true. So the first part is, you just said it. We have to first realize that it's not about the specific action. It's we have to train our brain, and this is the part that I think that most not I think I know that diets just not offer. Because when you go to any dietitian, they will give you what they can do, and this is what I had at the time when I was still struggling with my eating disorder. I had the knowledge. So like this woman, we go from a plan to a plan. We try to figure that the problem is it's not the plan. It's really what is, am I on a diet, or I'm a person that just eat well. I'm a person with healthy relationship with food. And this is the part that I work with my clients on. We work on the level of identity, meaning I am becoming this person but is just have healthy relationship with food. And as such a person, everything else is easy. Such a person doesn't struggle with food. Now, when you are such a person, I'm not going to tell you that you will never eat a cookie. Yes, a person with healthy relationship with food sometimes eat a cookie, but that does not mean that I'm going to eat more. That does not mean that tomorrow I'm not going to go for my walk. That does not mean that now, I'm going to eat all the food that I'm not allowed to eat because tomorrow I'm starting my diet. It's totally different from a diet mindset. This is also one of the reasons that I don't give a menu. Like a lot of
Mm.
times people come to friends like, oh, are you going to give me a plan? And the answer is always, no, I'm not going to give a plan. Because if I'm giving you a plan, you're going to follow my plan. And today it's so easy to get a plan. Today on ChatGPT, you can get a plan, by the way. If
Right.
someone wants to do a thing, put
Exactly. You say, this
everything
is
on
how much I
ChatGPT.
weigh. I'm a male or a
Yes,
female. Tell me what to eat.
you get a
Exactly.
great plan on ChatGPT. You don't even have to pay a dietitian or nutritionist for it. But this is not what you don't know, because if someone already dieted before, we have so many plans. We know already what to do. The question is why we're not doing it. So really one of the things is really the awareness. We have to be aware of our urges, of our habits. We want to be aware to our mindset, our belief system. So this is really the work that I do. We kind of go through everything. All of this, we take the subconscious that comes with the food and bring it to the conscious. The second it's in the
Um,
conscious, we start, sorting through. This works for me. This is just a thought, just not working
mm,
for me anymore. So even if I was a person that I'm a black and white person, let's say some people come with this one that I'm on a diet or I'm off a diet. Okay, that doesn't mean that this is what I'm going to be from now on. That's my old me, and now I can decide. So today also with neuroscience, with the plasticity of the brain, we understand that the connection that I made in the past, it's not a done deal, because when we're
so
talking about the
this is a very important part, because even if you grew up in a family
mm-hmm,
with maybe mixed messages around food or negative messages about specific
true,
foods, you're telling me now that I can switch it around.
absolutely.
I love that. I love that.
Absolutely. And switching it around is not going to be by telling myself, stop thinking this way. Because the second that I'm going that direction, stop thinking this way, I'm just thinking more about it. It's also, when people tell me, like, I really want to, ta, ta, ta. The second I want to, it means that I'm not. So we
Mm,
always change it to a present time. I am.
I love that. I am.
I am.
I'm gonna
Yes.
write that down. I am.
Now, there is another,
Not that
let's
I
say,
want to. I am.
I am. Now there is another shift. A lot of times, like, I have to do this and I have to do that. The second, like, oh, I have to eat healthy, or I have to go to the gym. It's just the sound of it is making me tired. But when we switch it to, I get to go to the gym. I get
Right.
to go for a
Yeah.
walk,
I use
right?
that a lot in the coaching also. Like, I'm
Of
privileged. I
course,
get to
yes,
do it.
I
I
am
don't have to
privileged.
do it. I get to do it. Right. I
So
like
I'm
that.
saying
Yeah.
all of those tiny things. Now, again, there is science, there is so much data, there is so much knowledge. I'm saying the brain is still a mystery, but there is already so much knowledge. There is so much, we know so much about how to build habits. There is science behind it. And I feel like in some areas we can use it, but for some reason, when it came to food, we just forgot about the science of the brain. We forgot about the behavioral part, and we're just trying to force an action when it's not who we are. So when you're trying to force an action and your brain tells you something else, you're basically constantly fighting with yourself. And this is why
Mm.
it's just adding up to the mental load. Because I want to eat healthy, but then I know it's exhausting. My brain tells me in a way, don't do it. And then we
Mm.
start and we stop and we start and we stop. And I had one of my clients that told me that over her lifetime she probably lost 1,000 pounds
Wow. Yeah.
and gained them all back.
Up and down. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
the up and down.
Okay, you wanted to mention something about anti-aging. You remember you had told me
Right.
there's something new out there where you wanted to discuss it. Yeah.
Right. So there is now, I'm saying, when we're talking about the health and the wellness industry, there is now even the next level when someone already, I always say, like, starting step one, don't try to, run right away. But if you're already eating well and doing all the right thing, there is also the next level of what there is a lot of, it's called the biohacking. So when we're talking about the biohacking, we're talking about reverse aging. So there is, like, Dr. David Sinclair. There is a lot of different people that research it. And they now how you'll ask me, how do you know that they're reversing the age? So what we're measuring the mitochondria. We're measuring the powerhouse that is inside the cell, and we're checking how old is that.
Hmm.
So we can measure, let's say a person can be 50 years old, but their body from the inside is like a 21 to the like a 21. I don't know if it's 21 yet. I think that Dr. David Sinclair was able to go 20 years forward, but even 28 years old.
Wow.
Now, the good part is that even if you are already aging, we can reverse it. And that's the nice part about it. And this is what I'm saying, that it's never too late. If you're already 40 years old and you're telling yourself, or 50 years old, and you're telling yourself, you know what, I did not exercise, I did not eat well, I probably lost so much muscle. Okay, there is a way back. You can still build muscle. The fact that you lost muscle, so we have I don't know, I'm saying there is all different kind of age groups on our, from the people that are listening. So if you're young, start now. It's going to be easier. It's easier to prevent than to fix. I'm not gonna, let's be very honest.
It's always easier, yeah.
Yes, but if your body already start breaking down muscle, it's still not the end deal, right?
Right.
We can still build muscle. We can still be healthier. So it's never late.
Do you know that there is no solution for arthritis? And I think the way to prevent arthritis, just because I have a family member that is dealing with this now,
I would
is
disagree with you that there is no solution, and I will
mm,
disagree with you from a place that I do know we're gonna have. If you want, I'm gonna have a different. I'll have a conversation with you later. But there is people that heal themselves from a lot of diseases that we call them uncurable. Even if you think of psoriasis, if you're thinking about rosacea, if you're thinking about Crohn, you're thinking about colitis, all of those. Today we're just saying that they're chronic disease. There is a root cause for it most of the time. The main issue with these diseases are that there is no one treatment for all, meaning the person that got sick with it really have to go and explore what is it that caused it for me. Combination of a lot of things. So we're talking about stress management together with making sure. So if we're talking about like the basics of sleep, of health, so we have stress, we have sleep, we have nutrition, we have water, it's all, we have movement, it's all of it together. So it's not
right,
like, okay, because a lot of time when we're talking about a cure, we're like, okay, so just stop eating dairy and you're being cured.
right. Someone just, I want to
Not
talk to
really.
you, yeah, I want to talk to you in a minute about sleep, but I see someone just wrote here, are you familiar with leaky gut syndrome and do you treat it?
Yes, I'm familiar with leaky gut syndrome. The treatments for all of these kind of things, it's basically going to be again going back to the basics. I'm not a doctor, and I very much believe that inside we all know what's really good for us. So whenever you start exploring these kind of things, if you're eating something and you just feel like it doesn't feel right. Now, whenever we're talking about leaky gut, the leaky gut is coming from what? It's coming from, there is a lot of inflammation. There is a lot of, our microbiome is not balanced. Now, what
Mm,
caused that? Sometimes it's a lot of antibiotics. Sometimes it's, the wrong food. There is a lot of, sometimes it could be also a lot of stress. Stress can also be a factor. So again, there isn't one answer to like, oh, I have the treat for it. And because that's what we get in regular medicine. Regular medicine, you have a headache, they give you something for the headache. You have, they hand antibiotic between what, 3-4 days to feel better. When we're talking about root cause, it's not quick.
right. It takes much, it takes, I
But,
think, a few months.
and I'm going to add a but over here, but it's definitely worth it because you really are taking care of the root cause. By the way, the book that I just mentioned before, Good Energy, I think we mentioned before, Good Energy really talks about it, about all the chronic disease that, we take. Someone comes with high blood pressure, they take medicine. They come with high cholesterol, they get statins. They come with high blood sugar, they get metformin or they get insulin later on.
Right.
There is, but we're not looking on, one second, what's going on. And if you would ask some doctors are better than others. But a lot of doctors will tell you, like, you're aging, it's okay. It's
Mm,
part of aging. Same goes with weight gain. Part
right.
of aging, it's okay. It's normal.
Right.
So we're very easy to prescribe.
Right, that's true. And I want to talk to you a little about sleep, just because I noticed on myself
Hmm.
that if I eat too close to bedtime, I don't sleep. I have an interrupted sleep. I just see it, you
Okay.
know?
Which it makes a lot of sense because when we're talking about sleep, our body needs to drop temperature in order to go into a deep sleep. When you're eating, your body is digesting. When your body is digesting, your core temperature is higher. So if your core temperature is higher, your body cannot drop temperature. So even if you're sleeping already,
Mm,
you won't even get the quality of sleep that you actually need. So that's why a lot of times people tell me like, how come Shabbos, I'm so tired? You eat the meal and you go to sleep.
right, right.
So sometimes when we just understand the science behind it, it just makes sense like, oh, I don't want to eat right before I'm going to sleep because I want to be able to get a good night's sleep. Now, what we also have to remember is that when we don't get a good night's sleep, our hunger hormone is going to be higher, about 30% higher the next day, meaning I'm going to be hungrier. And this is how we sometimes go into this loop, right? So I'm going to be hungry. I'm going to eat much more throughout the day. I'm going to eat much more later on at night. And then
And
again,
then
I'm
I
not going to
don't
get a
sleep
good
again,
quality
get
of
to sleep.
sleep.
Yeah.
And then again, I'm going to be really hungry. Now, when I'm really hungry, I'm physically hungry. I'm feeling physical hunger because my hunger hormone is actually higher than if I would just get a good night's sleep.
Wow. So, okay, so this is very important. That sleep is very, very
Yes.
important. Wow.
Oh, for so many reasons. Alzheimer also, by the way, one of the factors that's what science is saying now that Alzheimer is higher by women is because women are the caretakers, and especially in ages when we have the children, we just sleep less, and the lack of sleep is definitely affecting our brain. So if you want another reason why you should be taking care of your sleep, here is another reason.
Because, wow, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, for our brain health.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so like, take me through a typical client. Like, if I come to you, when do we meet? Do we meet once a week, twice a week? I talk to
Okay,
you over the phone.
so I have few different options. So we have the group coaching that usually opens every season. So I have one in the winter, one in the summer, one in the fall. So 3 times a year, 4 times a year it opens up. And this is on Zoom. I had few of them that I had most of the people from the same area, so we ended up doing it in person. But usually we're doing it over Zoom. And then we go through a 12-week program. The curriculum is very specific, meaning I go through a very specific curriculum because we really want to go deep into belief system and habits and urges, like I told you before, whatever we mentioned. I also have the one-on-one coaching, which is, again, it's going to be 12 sessions. Now, why 12 sessions? Now, usually, in the one-on-one coaching, sometimes people want like a semi one-on-one. So that, let's say, they would come two friends together, or I had a mother and a daughter, or two
Oh, that's
sisters.
nice. That's
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
that they come together. So I would do up to 3 people. We'll do like some kind of a semi one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And now when it's a one-on-one, it's going to be a little bit different than in the group coaching, because if you have, let's say, some people have suffer more from, let's say, fog eating. They just totally unaware of what they're eating. Some people have that less. They have more emotional eating. So when we do it in the group, I really have to go through the curriculum and stop less in specific areas. And when it's a one-on-one, it's going to be more tailored to exactly what is it that you need, that you're really struggling with.
Right. Wow.
And then we
Unbelievable.
also have our retreats that we just started lately. I
Oh,
think I
this I
told
wanted to
you.
tell you the
Yes,
event. It looks, I have to come. It looks amazing. Let's hear.
yes, you should. It was beautiful. So that's like about we did already 3 of them. So it's about every 2 months. The nice part about someone that comes to the retreat that we also use all those biohacking technology. So we're talking about, so what are the biohack? What's a biohack? We know we spoke about the mitochondria before. So there is a lot of technology today that kind of helps us, you know, make our mitochondria work better. Now, a lot of some people think, so let me just do that. So no, you want to start in the beginning. You want to start first in eating well, make sure that, your sleep is good, your movement. This is just the extra. So if you're going to not eat well and not exercise and think like, okay, I'm going to go into, let's say, a hyperbaric chamber, I'm going to go into red light therapy, and that's going to fix me. It's not really going to. Maybe it's going to make you it's definitely going to make you better. But you want your baseline to start in a good place. And this is things that they don't cost money, and you can just start every day. And you know what? Sometimes people feel like, okay, it's a lot because there is so many things that I do. Just choose one thing. We have the 1% concept, that if you only improve in 1% in a lot of different areas, or even in one area, you just start a trend that you're going towards the right direction.
Right,
So
right.
it doesn't have to
Exactly.
be something
You
big.
have to get on the right train, going the right
Just
way. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I love that.
And I think also for some people, it's adding one thing at a time. Like sometimes I'll wake up in the
Yeah.
morning, I'll say, Devairi, just today drink the water. Wherever you go, just have water wherever you go, because
Okay.
the
So
day.
I love. I love that, but I also love to work with really the science of habit. So when we know if I want to drink more water, what's my trigger? And then what's my reward? Like really, because every habit has a trigger and has a reward.
So explain that to me. I don't understand.
Okay. Um, if you're
Taking
thinking of,
taking the water as an example. I know that I don't
let's,
drink enough water. Correct.
okay, so if I don't want to drink enough water, I want to give myself a trigger to drink more water. For example, if I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to see a water bottle right next to my bed with a cup right there, my chances of drinking water are much higher than if I have to go to walk to the kitchen
Right.
and
Correct.
go drink,
So you're
right?
using trigger here as a positive thing.
Yeah. Now, trigger can
Gotcha.
also be a negative thing. If I'm going to see on my counter cakes all day long, I'm probably going to have a higher trigger than if I have to open the pantry and take cake out.
Right. Someone just told me that today. I went with someone to lunch to Very Juice. Let's shout out to
Hmm.
Very Juice because
I love berry
that's
juice. Yes.
that's our dream. Okay. Um, she told me she only has cake in the freezer.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as fresh cake, and if she has Shabbos guests, it comes out of the freezer.
She comes out.
Yeah,
So
she
that's,
made
for
that
example, so
decision. Yeah,
that's, yeah. So this is going to be a trigger. Now, trigger going to be different by different people. Meaning, for some people, they will have a cake on the table, and it won't talk to them. Why it won't talk to them? Sometimes it's a habit. Sometimes it's because they made it in their head too unattractive. So what
Mhm.
happened is, and this is what we do sometimes with habits that we want to get rid of, we want to make them unattractive. So if I'm thinking, let's say, about a cake, and at that time I'm thinking, 1 second, if I'm eating this cake, spiking my blood sugar, I'm going to be craving food the whole day. Now when I'm spiking my blood sugar, it's make me age faster. There is so many. That's why I recommend reading that book that I mentioned before. It's not. I don't want that. Now again,
Mhm.
I have to be aware of my habits because otherwise I'm just going to do it on an automatic pilot. I'm just going to, oh, a cake, I'm eating. So this is,
Right.
like I said, you want to have a trigger, then you want to have a reward. A reward can be anything that's rewarding you. It can be a checklist that, oh, every day that I'm drinking my water in the morning, I give myself a check. After 20 checks, you can sometimes just enjoy the accumulation. Our brain loves accumulation, and sometimes you can connect it to something. You know what? After 20 checks, I'm going for a manicure. I'm going for a massage. I'm buying myself some whatever. So just try not to
That's
reward
an
yourself with
interesting
food.
idea. In other words, so to have a positive trigger with the water and then a reward. So those two
Yes,
words, trigger and
yes.
reward. I like that very
It's
much.
trigger.
Wow.
It's really is a science of habit. Like I said, habit has science. There is so much research about habit, and when we really take it and we apply it in the right places, we get the result that we want.
Right. Do you find just like the 12-step program that 90 days is a number to change a habit, or you feel like with your 12
Okay,
sessions
so
that it's
the
enough?
12 sessions is a 90 days is about 3 months, right?
Yeah.
So the 12 sessions is a 3 months,
Oh, so it
if
is
you're
90
thinking
days.
about
Yeah.
it.
No, because
Now,
if the
why do
12-step world and with the
Okay, so
alcoholics and
why do I like the 12 weeks program? Because if we want to see a change, we want also in the beginning there is always motivation, especially when someone starts and I want to be there when motivation fades because these kind of things is not about motivation. Now, really the reason that I have a 12-week program is because I have a curriculum for 12 weeks. I'm really pushing it into 12 weeks. I could have stretched it a little bit more, but I didn't want more than 12 weeks, so it's really a packed 12 weeks.
hmm.
Um, but definitely when it comes to habit, the more that we're going to do it, the stronger the habit that's going to be.
Mm.
Now it's interesting because I'm trying to remember the exact number with the research, how much time we need in order to create a real habit. If I remember right, the number was between 18 to 300 and between 18 days to a year, depend on the person, depend on the habit, depend on, the behavior and all of these kind of things. I
So
think that the most
interesting.
important thing to remember is when we work on habits is to really pay attention to the triggers and to the environment because if you put yourself into a sterile environment and you work on your habits and then you put yourself back into an environment with a lot of triggers, you're going to have a very hard time. So you have to
Right. That's why they always say, like, people that come out of these rehab centers, they don't just
fall
throw
back.
them right back into, right. There's usually a half, right. What is it called? Like a sober
So it
living.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, so it was an interesting research about it that it was a lot of soldiers that were in the Vietnam War that were drug addicts, and then when they came back, most of them didn't fall back into drugs. And the reason why the triggers weren't there. From the other hand, like you're saying, when people have triggers in their regular life and they
In
go
their
into a
house, yeah.
rehab, they go into the rehab, they come back to the same thing. So
Right.
again, it's a for ourselves, what we want to remember from it is that we really want to make sure that we first know our habits. We know what is a habit for me, which things I'm doing on automatic pilot, and then we want to start creating new ones. But again, it's not only about the habit, you also want to create the right mindset for it, because without the right mindset for it, without the identity, then you won't be able to create the habit. So if I'm trying to drink water every day, but I'm really thinking that, oh, I always start and fail, I'm never able to commit, I'm never able to follow through, I'm not going to be able to commit. Right? So
Mhm.
we want to make sure that we really get it from all corners, so it's really I'm
So,
becoming that
right.
person.
So it's the changing of the mindset that's going to lead us to changing the habit to create the environment for the habit.
Right. But I
Um,
always start with the identity. This is what I'm saying. That I will take that part, we'll start in the mind, we go from the inside out instead of start trying to force the behavior. Because when you go from the inside out, when you start with the mindset and you support it with the right habits, you support it with the right actions as a proof, this is when it stays.
mhm,
Otherwise,
mhm.
you just fighting yourself. Otherwise, when you just try to force action without changing the mindset behind it, you feel like you're in a war that and that also creates a food noise that I know I should be doing this, but I really want to do that. And then we feel the struggle and we feel the deprivation, all of the thing coming with a conflict between what I'm doing to who I think
Right.
I am.
Right. I just feel like, yeah, I just feel like when you eat healthy and you're exercising, then you're a calmer person and then you're more enjoyable to be around. So
Yes.
you're really that perfect example, you know?
Oh,
So,
thank you.
yeah. So I just want to thank you. How do people reach you? Because I'm
So
going to
I
put,
have it.
yeah.
So people can reach me on my Instagram. I have there. They can sign up for discovery call, or they can just send me a DM, and I'll call them back. Or we can just chat over over Instagram. So like this, they can see if something that it works for them.
Right. So just what's your Instagram handle? Because I'm probably going to put this on YouTube as well.
Okay, so it's Coach Rachel Rosenberg. And I think I send it to you. You
Yeah,
might
no,
be able to see.
I
Oh,
have it. I have it. I just
okay.
wanted it to be
It's
verbal.
called
Yeah.
Coach Rachel Rosenberg. Yes.
Okay. So then they can reach you about that. And any last words, anything you want to share, anything else that we didn't touch on or
No, I think we
you want to
kind of
mention?
covered it all. I just feel like this identity part is such a, like you were asking me before, it's starts in health. I always feel like this is the exit, this is the entry door, and it kind of goes everywhere because when you're able to create the right mindset, if you're realizing that the person that I was yesterday doesn't have to be that I'm the person that I'm going to be tomorrow. It's in your
Yeah.
health, it's
No,
everywhere.
I just feel bad. You know, sometimes families are so programmed a certain way, you
Yes.
know, like even let's say kids in the family or even a classroom, you know, like, oh, that girl is the clown. So that's
Hmm.
for first. She comes into second grade. She's still labeled the class clown. Why? Why can't a new year just be a new girl, right?
Sure.
So the same thing. Why does every kid in the family have to have a certain role? Why can't it just be that our roles are constantly shifting?
True. And at one point, sometimes when we're younger, when it comes to kids, it's much harder as a parent. We want to give them the education that, you can decide every day to who you want to be. There is happened to be a great kids book called The Power to Choose. I think it's called The Power. I think it's called The Power, or Danny Get to Choose, something like that. What I like about this book is that it's one story and it has 9 different endings,
Oh
depend
wow.
what this kid is choosing to do.
Ah, I must get that book. Let me
It's
just, what
very
is it
cute. I
again?
think it's called The Power to Choose or Danny Get to Choose. I'm
Danny
not sure
gets to
the
choose. I'm going to look it
something
up.
like
Yeah.
that. It's one story that ends. It's one story, but it's 9 different endings. And I love to read it to my kids because it's about this kid that wakes up in the morning and it's his brother has like his favorite plate, and should I yell and make and throw the plate, or should I just be okay with it? Like things like that, and they get to choose. So they get, and I love it because we have the power to choose. Now, can we change, our surrounding? We can, but again, it's about this little 1%. But in one place, all you need is one person, and sometimes we can be this one person for this kid. That we're going to be the one to tell them, like, "Oh, you're so great at this and this and this. You did that so well."
Right.
Right?
Right.
So there is so much that
Wow.
we can change, but the part that we can change, we can't let that go and say, you know what, if I can't control and there is already label, let me just go with it. No, I'm going to do mine.
Wow.
And
It's amazing. It's amazing how positive you are. And now I see when I saw your son at the bar mitzvah, Kenai
mhm,
Nahara, how he spoke, I'm like, now I see where
yeah,
it
Baruch
comes from.
Hashem.
Okay, yeah. You just put that all
Yes.
into him, that positive energy and that healthy mindset. So
A
thanks so
great
much, Ian.
question. I'm going to add one more thing just because you mentioned this one. A great question that I just started lately. I started asking these kids. I started asking what good things happened to you today. It's what are you proud of yourself today? That's something that I'm
Oh, I
doing
love
lately.
that. What are you proud of yourself
Of
today?
yourself, something that you're proud of yourself. Just because, sometimes we're looking so much to get someone else to someone else approval. And I feel like this is kind of giving them the strength to, I'm proud of myself for so and so and so.
Right. So I know a lot of Shabbos tables, which I think is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They go around the room. What nice thing happened to you this
Yeah,
week?
so that's something I was doing for a very long time. So what happened to you positive, and I happened to be I had one of my kids that was going more into the negative, and and they knew that that they have to give me five positive things, and then you can tell all the negative stuff as well, but you have to give me five positive things. So when they know that I'm going to ask them the question, they had to look for it. They
Right,
were just
right,
they just knew that, oh, I'm going to come home and my mom is going
right,
to ask me
right.
what did I.
So yeah, so I was listening to OA meetings for quite a while.
Mm-hmm,
We talked about years ago. Years ago, I used
mm-hmm.
to do the Overeaters Anonymous meetings, and I had a sponsor, and every night I had to write. And part of the writing at night was three things that I'm grateful for. So
This is
during the
wonderful.
day, I had to keep my eyes open, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna write that tonight.
And I think you also still have that because you always posting, all these beautiful places and all these beautiful things. I don't even know where you're finding all these beautiful places and beautiful stuff to look at, but I guess that you just trained your brain to look
Yeah,
for this beautiful stuff,
all
so
these
you find
nice
them.
things. Yeah. Okay. Also, we
Yes.
have good taste, so we like nice things. Let's not.
But still, you know what? Things are there. Things are there. We
Right.
just have to open our eyes
Eyes, and we have to
and
see it.
find them. And we have, yeah.
So another amazing thing that I never did it, but I always
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do it. Someone in my OA group had shared that for Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
instead of giving her significant other, I think she was married, her husband, a gift that year, every single day of the year from January 1, she wrote down one nice thing about him at
Oh, wow.
night in her journal, even if she was angry. She would
Oh, wow.
find something nice about him that he has a job, or that
Mm-hmm.
anything. And then at the end of the year for the holiday, she
She
had
gave it
it
to him.
she had it written up like on a scroll.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine getting 365 nice things about you wrapped up?
That's beautiful. You know what? Keeping it in a secret for 365 days is a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, just had that journal, and every night, no matter what, even if it was a hard day, he wasn't home, she couldn't think of anything, she would find
That's it.
something nice to write about him. And I think we could do that about anybody in
Mm-hmm.
our family or anyone that we're struggling with, a
Yeah.
coworker or whatever, because it
I think
trains
I
our
even
brain.
say it
Or
every day.
ourselves. I'm thinking
Yeah,
even
say it.
ourselves. This is what I'm getting from you.
Absolutely.
If we can write one nice thing about ourselves every night before we go to bed, like, hey, I'm really
Absolutely.
great. I really did
Yeah.
something nice today. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
love
and
that.
then the more that you're thinking about, the more things you're gonna find. It gets easier.
Right. Ellie just joined, but he doesn't realize that it's the end of the live. That's so
We're
funny.
almost
Hi,
done, yes.
Ellie. How are you? Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, so I'm just going to touch on one more subject because I told
Hmm.
you I want you to read the book,
I
Oprah's
skipped
book. We
through the
have to
book.
read
So
it.
I
Yeah.
skipped through the book. I didn't finish reading it, but I did hear some concepts which I'm not. There is one concept from there that I love. I'm going to read the book. I think we're going to have to do a conversation about this one. I love the compassion part. This is always something that I think that there is no reason to beat yourself up. It never it would get you nowhere to beat yourself up over something. Not
Right.
over what you ate, not over it's done.
Right.
And I tell it to my clients. I always said we have something is over, meaning it's something that I already did.
Move
There is
on.
a two C. There is a two C's: compassion, curiosity. There is a
Oh, I like
compassion.
that. Compassion and curiosity. Okay.
Yeah, there is the compassion part, and then there is how can I do different next time, right? We don't want to forget that part.
Right.
Now, the part that I don't like, and again, I did not read the book yet, so I don't want to say a lot because like
Right.
I said, I just skipped through it. It was the part of treating obesity as
An illness, right? Is that what she
as an
calls it?
illness, or
Right.
almost like this is my DNA. Because even when we're talking about a DNA, our DNA is not a done deal. And when I'm not talking here about the color of your eyes or your height, and even with your height, we're saying that kids will see. We also have potential in that. But when you're already in your 20s, you're probably not going to grow more. Okay, so we're not talking about this one, but we're talking even about disease. We have tendencies. Some people, and when I think about tendency, I like to think some people have the switch. Is it on or off? It's up to you already. If you want, there is a great book about it called The Biology of Belief.
Okay. And what is that?
He really goes into the DNA. Dr. Bruce, forgot his last name. He wrote that book. I think he even got a prize. He got some prize. He did a major research on it. That by the end of the day, even our DNA is a lot of choices and behaviors, and we can change that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, so
It's so
even if I have the
interesting.
tendency for something, it doesn't
It's
mean that
so
this is a
interesting
done
that
deal for me.
that we're talking about our physical DNA, but because it's Sphera, I'm just going to plug in that
Hmm.
it's a spiritual DNA also. That we think, oh, certain families, let's say, are very, very stingy, right? Like when you do a
Hmm.
shidduch and you ask information, like certain families are more
Hmm.
into chesed, certain families are, but doesn't mean that just because your
That
family
this
tends to do that, you can also get
that you're
up
going to
and
be the same person that's going
right.
to do it. Absolutely.
Right, you can get them and change. No, but I do have to say because I am on Manjura and I shared it with
Hmm.
you,
Hmm.
for me it's a great tool. For
So
me, it's a
I'm not
great tool.
against
Yeah,
it. So I would tell you what, whenever people ask me about Manjera or
Ozempic. Yeah,
or the Ozempic or the GLP-1
right,
medication, if it works for you, you can do it. The only thing is it's not. I always feel like do it as a tool, but not as something that this. Meaning at the same time, what you want to work, you want to create the right mindset. So you'll be able to stop using it at
right.
one point
At one point, yeah,
and still stay a healthy person and still choose. Now if we're already saying that, one of the things we mentioned before about workouts, when you're on any of GLP-1 medication, strength training, meaning your building of your muscle, is even more important, because
right,
what we're seeing is there is a lot of muscle loss, and that can cause sarcopenia next to later on in life. We want to be really careful from not losing too much muscle, because then what we're getting is not the healthy result that we're looking for.
right. Wow. Oh my gosh, Rachel, it was such a great discussion. The main thing is mindset. Anybody that wants to reach
Likewise,
out to her, reach
I'm
out on
going to
Instagram.
definitely read these two books. They seem very
Yeah,
interesting. I know I really
yeah.
wanted to read them before this live, but I'm gonna make sure that I'm reading them now.
Right. You know what it
I'll
is?
let you know how it is.
Yeah. Not so easy to have time to read. So somebody shared with me actually from Instagram because he reads a
Hmm.
crazy amount of books. He's a social worker. I
Hmm.
said, "How do you read every book I ever mentioned?" He already read. I said, "How did?" He says, "I'll tell you. I do a lot of driving and I do the audio books."
Audios. I'm also a big audio. I'm
Yes, you're
also a
also
big
an audio.
audio.
I'm not
There
yet. I
is
think I should
so
get
there
into
is
it.
no audio. There is no so for Oprah book. There is audio. I already bought it. It's already in my library. I'm just in the middle of reading a lot of other books right now. The Smart Cookie has no audio.
Right, because
So
it's like a Jewish local book.
I'm
Yeah.
saying if they want to put it on audio, that's going to be great. There is another way, happen to be, to read books today. You can even, certain books you can ask AI. There is certain AIs that you can ask them to just give you a summary of the book, like the main part of it. Not instead of
Yeah.
reading the book.
Wow. Wow.
So some of the AI tools can do that for you also. But I
Wow.
do enjoy reading the actual book. So I'm a great audio learner. So I use audios all the time. You can sometimes put it also on speed. And if I feel like if I like the book that much, I would usually buy the book afterwards. Like I would have it both. I would have it on paper
Both.
and
Wow. That's so
on
cute.
audio. Yes. But I'm a
Okay,
big
great.
audio
Yeah.
learner. Yes.
Thanks so much, Racheli.
Okay. Thank
You
you.
have a good night. Have a good
I'm happy we
Shabbos.
have, and I'm
Yeah.
always enjoying your study. So, keep all the positivity that you're bringing. It's so great to see it.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Also, your reels are great, by the way. I enjoy them. Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
you
I
know
have to
what?
go back to that.
Let me know when you're doing your next event. Maybe I would join. But
Okay. It's
I need
probably going to
enough
be
time, like at least a week or
right.
two, to know that
No,
it's
no,
coming. Yeah.
it's probably gonna be next month. I didn't finish the date completely yet. We just have to see again, who's gonna be our speakers. We always like to bring like all different kind of people. We do the mind kind of spirit kind of thing. So we always have
Beautiful.
some movement. We have the mind part, and then we have also the technology. So we have the usually so it's a red light therapy and a hyperbaric chamber. All of those biohacking cool stuff.
Fantastic. Okay, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone. Whoever joined, and I'll try to save it. So if you came in late, you could listen to the beginning. Take care.
Okay,
Thanks,
great.
Racheli. Good
I will
night.
talk to you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.